come to grips with and be able to be so open and so transparent with the public. But I knew going into this that if I tried to hide it, it would be the death of the campaign. There
Well,
was
of
no
course.
opportunity for me to move forward. And
Right.
so it only made sense that I would be clear and transparent and honest with people up front so that they knew where I came from and why I stand the way I do.
Right. And I think that more people than not in Alabama can relate to that. When we come back from the break, we're going to have a great conversation with Mark Wheeler, running for U.S. Senate in Alabama. Stay with us.
The Humble Hemp Shack has been your home for safely sourced hemp products since 2019. Now we are asking for your help. Alabama House Bill 445 was recently signed into law and will significantly impact Alabamians' right to safe, quality hemp products. This bill takes money from the hands of farmers and small business owners and puts it right back into the hands of dealers. You can help by supporting local hemp businesses and by donating to the legal fund found on thehumblehempshack.com, paid for by the Humble Hemp Shack, LLC.
Right arm, right leg,
left arm,
both legs above the knee,
both legs, part of my left hand.
Lost both my legs in Iraq.
Bill.
I think that you, people like you, people like me, there's lots of us that literally came from little to nothing. But I wasn't raised in Alabama, so I can't claim this. I mean, Louisiana's not any better, but still, you were born and raised in Alabama in those conditions and still found a way to better your life. So it is possible. You know, it is possible, even in the terrible conditions that the state of Alabama is in. And I don't know how they are now compared to when you were coming up as a child, because I don't even know how old you are, but I'm ancient. I'm from the 1900s. But you know, I don't imagine it was super prosperous and now all of a sudden we're poor. That's not the impression I get. And I have been here for 21 years, but I think it's a testament to the fact that, yes, there are ways to do it. Just you know, I like I said, I commend you for your honesty. When we spoke earlier, I've always been very open about the fact that I'm in recovery. Initially, that was hard for me. Just like you, I worried people will judge me. They will discount me. They will just stop listening and I won't ever get a chance. And that just wasn't true. And weirdly, I think people respected me more because I could admit it. And that's not who I am. So I'm not ashamed of it. And I get the impression that that's how you feel. You know, yes, this is where I came from, but it doesn't define who I am. And it did not, you know, for all of its trying, keep you from becoming a successful, educated person who has the capability and the wherewithal to do something like, ironically, Spiro for mayor is calling my phone. I can't even make that up. He must have heard what I said. Anyway. Well, that threw me for a loop, Mark. This is live. It's real honest, so forgive me.
That's all right.
But anyway, you know, we do recover, you know, whether it's addiction or your own or your family members, the people that were in charge of raising you and taking care of you, you know, that has its own repercussions in shaping who we are as people. And I think that more people in Alabama should, you know, especially running for office. Hey, I'm a real person, because Lord knows we are sick and tired of the theater. Especially in state government and all these elections, it really turns my stomach. So I commend you. But let's get into it. Term limits. I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think most people are. Most people that I talk to, even on the Republican side of the aisle, they'll hear that I'm a Democrat and they're immediately turned off. And then we start talking about policy that I care about. Mm-hmm. Term limits comes up and immediately they're sold. Oh, that's incredible. I want you. I didn't think a Democrat would ever support that.
Right.
And for me, I think, from my perspective, it is an absolute necessity if we want a legislature that represents the working people of America.
I agree.
Not just Alabama, but the United States at large.
Right.
If you go into office and once you're there, if you're able to establish yourself as a survivor within Congress, you have limitless power for the rest of your life. You have the best health care in America for the rest of your life. And you don't have to deal with the repercussions of the decisions that you make while in office.
Right.
So crafting term limits absolutely places members of our legislature in a position where they know that 12 years later, when they are term limited out, they will be an average Joe again, and they have to live with the decisions that they make.
Right.
And they no longer have the power to overturn those.
Right.
So yes, term limits are an absolute must.
I agree, because the worst damage I see happening, especially, like I said, I'm entrenched in state politics by force. I don't want to be in the middle of all this, and I don't even want to know sometimes. But now that I know,
Right.
it's like I can't look away. But
Right, for
the
sure.
the worst things I see happening are coming from people who have been there 30, 40 years. Even one guy out of Birmingham, 50 years he's been in office, and he got indicted for embezzling $400,000 from a kid's sports fund. And I'm like, do you think that's the first time he did that, or the first time he got caught?
More than likely the first time that he got caught.
I think that I think they become numb to the need for voter approval, especially in Alabama, where nobody runs against anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking at it from both sides, because I see a whole lot of Republican stuff, and then now I see a whole lot of Democrat stuff, and it's like none of the Democrats are great at raising money. Nobody supports their campaigns. I'm sure, I know you're not really trying to raise much right now, but you will have to eventually. But then you've got somebody like Tommy Tuberville, who's got $5 million. Why do you need $5 million to run for governor?
Well, when you're not a great candidate, you have to have extra money.
Right. Well, what do they use it for is what I want to know. I mean, commercials don't cost that much, do they?
I mean, you can find all kinds of ways to spend it and just to spend it. But for some of them, there are loopholes to get the money out and put it in your own pocket, right? There are methods.
I am sure. Well, and you've got
doubt.
the AG candidate who's getting $1 million donation out of Tennessee. That's the type of money you don't get to know where it comes from or how or why. Right. And her response as the, wanting to be the leading lawyer in the state was, well, it's not illegal. Everybody else is doing it. Is that the bar?
Right, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right.
It doesn't mean it's moral or ethical. I agree. And why would we want to hand over that kind of position to someone who flippantly brags about it? It's not illegal. Well, let's make it illegal. I mean, campaign donations in Alabama are out of control.
Right. I agree 100%. So overturning Citizens United, something big on my platform, and that'll help fix this issue in general. It puts the power back in the hands of people and not in corporations.
What is Citizens United? I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Citizens United is a Supreme Court case from years and years ago.
Okay.
And really compressing the details here, it basically says that companies are people and that their money is equivalent to their First Amendment right. So they can use their money to spend their money on a candidate or promoting a candidate without limit. And because they have an unabridged First Amendment right to free speech, that Supreme Court case gave them the ability to spend however much they want to promote certain political ideologies or specific candidates.
Right.
And
as a corporation, not just as a private citizen. Right. Yes, exactly. And why else would a corporation donate money to a campaign except to get favor with that candidate? Well, then you're bought and paid for. People don't give you $1 million of dark money from Tennessee and then never ask for anything in return. I'm sorry, that's not how this works.
No, absolutely, 100%.
So who would be the Attorney General? Would it be her, or would it be somebody in Tennessee, or who else? Who knows where? That's not cool. That is not okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we go the route of draining money out of politics, if we actually get the political sphere back in the hands of the American citizens, I think overall we will see a massive change in the way that the law is handled, but also in the way that we're represented.
Right.
You won't see businesses so overwhelmingly represented in the government. You won't see legislation laws coming out that more favor companies over private citizens, right?
Right.
And so for us to fix the issue, glaringly, everything that's wrong with our economy starts with getting money out of politics.
Absolutely, because I mean, like I say, it's pay to play. And if you're a normal citizen with a servant's heart who has a passion for the people of their community and you want to run for office, but you don't have corporations banging down your door with $1 million checks, you stand no chance. And so it's not even really a competition. It's
Not
whoever
really, no.
has the most money gets the seat. And why not just sell the seats at that point?
Well, so realistically, what we're running into here is it's a name recognition issue, right?
Mhm.
So talked about Tommy Tuberville and his $5 million a minute ago.
Mhm.
With that $5 million, he can funnel some of it into his own pocket, but more likely what they will do is spend that money to constantly drip you images of his face, clips of his voice, and posters with his name on it. And the more you see him and the more good feel they give you about him, the more likely you are to vote for him.
Right.
You don't care about his policies anymore because you look at him and you feel good.
Right. That's
And,
like he was
it's
just with the
money.
a veterans group the other day and with this group and that group. And I'm going to run the state like a football team. War Eagle, like,
That's what we need, right?
yeah. Well, like I say, Alabama likes to succeed at three things: football, oppression, and poverty. And he's got one. And if he takes his $5 million and uses it to drip happy face to us, I don't think that he has good intentions for us to get out of the oppression and poverty business.
100%. I agree with you. 100%.
And sorry for all the War Eagle fans out there, but come on now. It's not exactly Nick Saban, is it? Roll Tide. Right. I said that for my husband's benefit.
There you go. No, I can appreciate that.
Okay.
But no, well, you're right. Politics is not football, and we really have to get back to a political sphere.
Well, and politics aside, there's politics and then there's running a government. Okay,
Yeah,
we could do without the politics altogether and just run the state, run the country. And you know what I mean? And if you're going to be in my opinion, if you're going to be a public servant, it should be service. You get in, you do a limited amount of time. You don't get paid for it because it's public service. You don't get to bilk off the government for the rest of your life. But then when you leave, you can get those $100,000 speaking gigs and go back to your law firm or your medical practice or whatever it is you do and go back. It's public. It should be public service. If you take the lobbying money and we got beat half to death with lobbyists in this session here in the state, I cannot imagine the exponential pressure on the federal level with lobbyists. I cannot even imagine it, because that's the whole country. That is money. We that's stupid money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But with a candidate like me, at least you know that I can't be bought. Because I don't have ambitions for a Lamborghini or a giant McMansion or anything like that.
Right.
What I want is to build a world where I know my kids will have a job when they grow up, where I know that they're going to have clean air and clean water and healthy food, and that they can have children of their own.
Right.
And
maybe even deliver them in the same county that they live in, and then take them to the pediatrician in the same county they live in. But 23 out of 67 don't have either. That's where we start. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more with Mark Wheeler. Stay with us.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority, and Dr. Bill Williams.
The Gulf Coast can expect mostly clear skies tonight. Low temperatures will be in the upper 60s at daybreak. For Tuesday, sunny and dry with highs in the lower 90s. And the outlook for Wednesday, sunny again with afternoon readings in the upper 80s. This is meteorologist Dr. Bill Williams for FM Talk 106.5.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
I'm Roseanne Hayden from WKRG News 5. A former Foley magistrate arrested, accused of trading THC-laced vapes for photos of underage girls. A parent complained to Foley police about Joseph Bischoff. His bond is set at $100,000. A man from Mobile now federally indicted for murder in Pensacola after his girlfriend, a member of the United States Air Force, was shot and then run over. 30-year-old Charles Carson Dowdy is accused of killing 30 30-year-old star Michael Tucker in January. A child in Alabama has contracted measles, the first case reported in the state in more than 20 years. Health officials say the child, younger than 5, was not vaccinated and caught the measles after traveling outside the country. The last measles case in Alabama was recorded in 2002. I'm Roseanne Haven from WKRG News 5. Local coverage here.
Be connected with ultra high speed rail. The rest of the developed world already has this. We're behind. When we develop that out, we can at the same time and for the same cost, we can also develop new corridors for energy transfer. So more electrical lines that are not overhead, they're hidden, so they're not so ugly, such an eyesore. But then also we can build out data infrastructure too, fiber optic cables. So this brings down your cost for electricity. This brings down your cost for internet. This allows you to commute across the United States more efficiently. So you can get to jobs in bigger cities with less of a commute. You don't have to pay for a car. You don't have to pay for gas. You don't have insurance to worry about. You don't have wear and tear on that car. And you can live further away from cities, so it helps stabilize housing markets across the United States. In my mind, it's a no-brainer.
No, that makes perfect sense. I had no idea what you were going to say, but wow, the high-speed rail thing does make sense. I mean, we're over here in Mobile patting ourselves on the back for the little Amtrak that goes 150 miles to New Orleans, which is great,
right.
You know, for a day trip.
It's something.
It's something. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm sure it's fun.
So let me tell you, Japan has an ultra high speed bullet train now that goes something like 800 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
At that speed, you could transit from New York City to Orlando, Florida in a couple of hours. You could make a daily commute between the two cities and work between them.
Wow.
At that speed.
Wow.
And you could do that for less than $20 a day for the cost of commute.
Right.
So in my mind, it makes absolute sense. We should be developing this ultra high speed rail infrastructure and not depending. I mean, Amtrak is what it is, and it's functional and it's great as it exists, but
Right.
it can be so much better.
Right. I think I don't know. It's more like a leisure thing. It's not really a commute type thing. It's something you do when you want to go between Mardi Gras in Mobile and Mardi Gras in New Orleans, or if you want to go to New Orleans, have lunch and do a little shopping and then come back, you know?
Absolutely.
But that's an hour and a half, 2 hours in the car for people down here in Mobile. So I think the Amtrak ride is actually twice as long because they have stops along. No, I'm not kidding. I think
Testing. Yeah, that's working. All right, good deal. Oh, Jesus. Alright, so let's see. What does that capture look like on the desktop? Okay, so there is some... Not much. A little bit of space there. Goes on both. Alright, what's over here? Okay, all the way down to this one. Alright. Let's see. I don't need that. Stop. Where's the YouTube thing? Come back. So where are you? There we go, YouTube. Gotta collapse you, maybe. Yes, we could. Okay, that can fit there. This won't fit anywhere down here, so this goes down top. Okay, so that's the only way I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna have to crop the screen for TikTok. Can still feed that off of that. Now if I minimize, does that still work? No, I can't, so OBS has to stay open. Alright, so we have to keep OBS open. TikTok, I guess, gets it right up top of it. Doesn't really matter. So you're basically looking at the same thing. Oh, look at that. It just fits right nice. There we go. Okay, I can live with that. Alright, control here, and Yeah, we can make that work. I can move YouTube stuff here. Sweet. All right. This has been the biggest pain in the butt. Who's still in here? Mahir, is that you or Alabama Progress? Who is that? Will it show me? It's Alabama Progress. Man, I'm going to tell you, yeah, setting this up is a significant pain in the ass. Trying to get it to stream to every other platform together, ridiculous. TikTok doesn't let you do an encode. So you can't stream from OBS to TikTok, or if you can, I can't figure out how to do it. So I'm having to run those programs in parallel, and OBS is doing all the real work. Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. So in TikTok Live, when I'm streaming it, I can do a desktop capture or a window capture. I can make it capture OBS's multi-output, and then just basically crop the screen into it. So right now it's letting me stream to Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok all simultaneously. I think I could stack that with, well, anywhere else that I want to now that I have multi set up with OBS. TikTok is really the issue. I think I finally got it figured out. I've been trying to piddle with it all day, and I feel like shit. All right, good deal. All right, man, I'm going to kill the live. Thanks for hanging around and giving feedback, though. Where's the thing? Let's see, stop.